Have you ever held a coin that everyone walks past in their pocket change, only to discover that behind its plain face lies a drama of politics, minting mistakes, and heart-stopping auction results that launch collectors into bidding wars? Stay with me, because the Susan B. Anthony dollar is more than a small, unloved coin. It is a story of social progress, minting missteps, and a modern-day treasure hunt that still excites serious collectors today. The tale of the Susan B. Anthony dollar begins long before 1979, rooted in the fight for equal rights and the effort to honor one of America's most relentless reformers, Susan B. Anthony. On United States coinage, congressional pressure and public debate forced the U.S. Mint to place a real woman, not an allegorical liberty, on a circulating coin, and sculptor Frank Gasparo created a compact portrait that would forever tie a modern circulating dollar to America's suffrage movement. When the first Susan B. Anthony dollars were released in 1979, expectations were high and confusion was immediate. The coin's small size and rim design made it look too much like a quarter to the public and to vending machines alike, effectively dooming its intended circulation role almost from the start. The Mint's decision to reuse the Apollo 11 eagle reverse from the Eisenhower dollar produced a design that linked a woman's portrait with America's moon landing legacy. And that design choice continues to fascinate collectors who study every detail of the obverse portrait and the subtle markers of minting die work. Numismatically, the Susan B. Anthony dollar is a compact classroom in varieties and die differences that reward close observation and expert knowledge. Collectors obsess over the near date, often called narrow rim/far date, and wide rim, near date distinctions, the Type 1 versus Type 2 mintmark punches at San Francisco proofs, and the scarce wide rim 1979 P pieces that were produced on a slightly different hubbing and strike planchet alignment. These technical differences drive collector demand and explain why two visually similar coins can command dramatically different prices in certified grades. The story becomes cinematic when mint errors enter the stage. Planchet mix-ups, stray strikes on wrong planchets, and dramatic proof variations have produced the market's most exciting Susan B. Anthony headlines. The single most famous error among modern examples is the 1999 Susan B. Anthony pieces struck on Sacagawea planchets, a wrong planchet rarity that placed several examples into the top tier of modern era coins and into major auction catalogs for collectors to fight over. These wrong planchet Anthony dollars are unique because they demonstrate how a single production line mishap can create a collectible of outsized significance. For collectors hunting in circulation, a practical tip is to study the rim and date spacing closely under magnification. The wide rim, often called near date, example will show the date almost touching the rim, while the normal or narrow rim has a clear separation. Also inspect the mintmark area on Proof 1979's examples to determine Type 1 versus Type 2, because that simple mintmark difference can change a slabbed coin's market value considerably. Now for the verified auction fireworks that make serious collectors sit up and take notice. The highest realized prices for Susan B. Anthony dollars are not for typical circulated pieces but for extreme condition survivors, rare varieties, and spectacular errors that reach deep into bidders' pockets. The rare 1999 Anthony dollars struck on Sacagawea planchets have set the highest modern records for this series, with documented auction results around $16,100 for certain certified examples, confirming their status as the single most valuable subset of Susan B. Anthony issues in the modern market. High-grade proof and mint state Susan B. Anthony dollars have also achieved headline prices. For example, top-graded 1979s and 1981s proofs and exceptional MS68 mint state examples realized several $1,000s at major auctions, with some 1979s examples and elite MS68 pieces appearing in heritage auction archives at prices in the mid-thousands and even into five figures in select sales. These high-grade and proof sales demonstrate that condition and rarity remain the primary drivers of value for the Susan B. Anthony series. Errors struck on wrong planchets and extreme rarities have consistent market proof. Documented cases of 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars struck on 1-cent planchets or struck on unexpected planchets have sold for multiple thousands of dollars in graded form, and specialty numismatic news sites and auction archives document these sales with images and lot descriptions for verification. This is why any Anthony dollar that looks off physically should be professionally evaluated and, if warranted, submitted for authentication and grading to capture its full market value potential. Beyond price, the Susan B. Anthony dollar is a powerful symbol in the numismatic world because it is a modern example of how social history, design compromise, and production realities collide to create collectible narratives that interest both casual finders and advanced researchers alike. Museums, private collectors, and serious dealers reference SBA dollars in exhibits and catalogs precisely because the series is a teaching coin. It illustrates policy decisions, public reception, and the importance of the minor technical details that define collectible quality. If you have a Susan B. Anthony dollar in your collection or in your pocket, here is a professional checklist to follow before you consider selling or submitting. Photograph both sides under good light. Check for unusual planchet color or thickness. Inspect the rim and date position for wide rim or near date varieties. Note any unusual min-mark punches, especially on 1979 S-proofs, and if anything seems out of the ordinary, obtain third-party grading and a specialist opinion before you list it for sale. Proper documentation is the difference between a face value coin and an auction headline. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most interesting modern coins, show your support by liking this video, leaving a comment with what Susan B. Anthony varieties you own or want us to examine next, and subscribe for weekly expert-level collector guides from HD Coins World. Your engagement fuels more research and more hard-hitting market updates for serious US collectors like you. Thank you for watching HD Coins World, where every coin has a story and every story could be worth a small fortune. Stay vigilant, study your change, and always look for the details that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Have you ever held a modern coin that looks ordinary, only to learn that a single production slip or promotional batch turned it into a headline auction treasure that collectors fight over with seven-figure dreams in their eyes? Stay with me, because the story of the 2000p Sacagawea dollar is a thriller of design, experimental strikes, promotional oddities, and dramatic minting errors that changed modern numismatics forever. The Sacagawea dollar debuted in 2000 to give the United States a golden-colored circulating dollar that would be easy to identify and carry. And the 2000p pieces from Philadelphia led that launch with the classic Glenn obverse portrait and the soaring golden eagle. Reverse designed to celebrate continuity and modern American symbolism. From day one, the series mixed public policy, vending machine politics, and artistic choices into a package that numismatists would study for decades to come. Design matters. Glenn graceful portrait gives the Sacagawea dollar a warmth unseen on most circulating dollars, and the reverse eagle, with its stylized flight and discreet details in the feathers and talons, is exactly where specialists look for dye-polish lines, doubling, and distinct feather definition that separate an ordinary example from a collectible variety. Examine the eagle's tail feathers, the papoose on Sacagawea's back, and the rim details under magnification to begin any serious attribution effort. Minting context is crucial to understanding why the 2000p Sacagawea spawned so many high-value stories. The Philadelphia facility in 2000 was producing massive circulation orders and special promotional runs at the same time, which created conditions where wrong planchets, mules, and experimental proof-like finishes could be introduced into distribution or into specialist promotional holders. That production environment is the reason collectors find everything from the Cheerios promotional pieces to rare mule pairings within the 2000 Philadelphia variety set. Promotional and collector channel varieties are a headline feature of the 2000p story, the so-called Cheerios. Sacagawea dollars were specially selected strike specimens distributed inside promotional cereal boxes and later distributed to collectors, and those pieces show finer feather detail and exceptional strike characteristics that make the Cheerios survivors both visually distinct and highly desirable to advanced collectors. The scarcity of intact, high-grade Cheerios pieces is why they command substantially higher prices than ordinary business strikes. Now consider mint errors and mules, which are where dramatic value lives in the 2000p series. Authentic mules were produced when an obverse die from one series and a reverse die from another were mismatched, or when a coin was struck on the wrong planchet entirely. And the 2000p Sacagawea series includes some of the earliest and most famous modern U.S. mules and wrong planchet rarities that collectors prize and research intensely. Examples include Sacagawea dollars struck on Susan B. Anthony planchets, Sacagawea dollars muled with Washington quarter obverse, and other combinations that are pure minting anomalies. Collector guidance matters. When you inspect a Sacagawea dollar, always photograph both sides under neutral lighting. Check the planchet edge for unusual thickness or composition. Look for non-matching obverse/reverse pairings at the rim that indicate a mule, and study the eagle's tail feathers for the Cheerios. Feather detail known to specialists as greater feather definition that separates promotional strikes from mass-produced examples. If anything looks wrong, secure professional authentication and third-party grading before attempting to sell. Documentation is essential to unlock the true market value. Now for the auction facts that make this series electrifying. The highest verified public auction results for 2000 Philadelphia Sacagawea varieties and errors show how far collectors will go to own the rarest pieces. And these figures are documented in major auction archives and by third-party registries for verification. A top documented sale for a regular strike. Extremely high-grade 2000p Sacagawea realized $117,500 in a Stack's Bowers sale, setting a benchmark for pristine business strikes in this issue. Errors and mules have produced even more dramatic headline sales. Documented mule errors combining the Sacagawea reverse with mismatched obverse, including Washington quarter and state quarter obverse, have sold for headline prices. With verified auction realizations including $102,000 for a prominent mule example at a major sale, and other mule pieces appearing in public auction records for six-figure results as well. Promotional varieties also reached impressive prices. Cheerios selection Sacagawea dollars and specially struck promotional pieces have realized high five-figure results at auction, for example with documented sales in the tens of thousands and rare Cheerios examples crossing into the mid-five-figure range at major houses. All supported by heritage and regional auction archives that catalog these lots and images for provenance. Beyond raw dollar figures, the 2000p Sacagawea is powerful in the numismatic world because it demonstrates how modern minting processes, promotional marketing, and human error can generate scarcity almost overnight, and because these pieces are recent enough that provenance and photographic records are usually available, collectors can therefore trace ownership, grading changes, and auction histories with a clarity rarely available for older coin series. If you think you own something unusual, here is a professional checklist. Do not clean the coin or attempt heavy polishing. Photograph both sides and the rim clearly. Compare the reverse eagle feathers to documented Cheerios and regular die states. Look for mismatched obverse features that would indicate a mule, and if any of those conditions match, submit the coin to a major grading service for attribution and authentication before listing it. Proper grading and a detailed lot provenance unlock the serious auction market. If you enjoyed this expedition into the most surprising modern US dollar series, and if you want me to deep dive next into a specific 2000p mule or to compile a downloadable spreadsheet of the top verified auction lots with lot numbers, sale dates, and prices written in full English words for use in your video, tell me which variety you want analyzed next, and I will prepare it for HD Coins World. If this deep dive helped you, like this video, leave a comment below telling us which Sacagawea variety you own or found in circulation, and subscribe for more high-level numismatic research and auction updates. Smash the bell icon so you never miss a future market revelation from HD Coins World.